Battery's out.
This is theater. I don't need a mic.
Okay.
Why don't you give me yours?
Hey, it's a Dragon Ball panel. Let's scream them out.
Press the mute. Show you how it feels.
I would say you guys are awesome for everything.
Thank you.
Kind of nervous, but I want to ask for all you guys if I can get a Galick gun.
I don't know. Do you want to be awesome together?
At the same time?
Yeah, please.
If possible, please.
Galick 4.
All right.
Oh, thank you so
Okay,
much.
we're gonna try it.
We're not gonna move.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to follow you guys. All right.
This could have been the end, but we'll do it now.
Galick!
Galick gun, first time ever attempted.
Sorry for destroying the people in the front. We
Spit on these people ever.
Sorry, insectos.
All right, good evening, you guys. First of all, I just want to say thank y'all for coming out here, taking your time and, expressing yourself with us. And I'm Joseph Buffington from Atlanta, Georgia, and just something simple. What was the most memorable moment that you can remember recording any part within Dragon Ball, or any part that you ever recorded here?
when we get
Any
paid
show, it
for
is
it.
any show.
Ed Programa.
Yeah, we keep looking at you. That's
Most memorable part of any memorable moment. You know what? It's not. I will go outside of Dragon Ball Z just because I've worked on a lot of other shows. But when I showed up to work on Inspector Gadget with Maurice LaMarche, Pinky and the Brain, he plays the Brain. Great actor. But we did a new revamp version a number of years ago, and I was cast as the new Dr. Claw. So the moment I was in a room with Mo LaMarche, he was playing Inspector Gadget, and I got to do the voice of Dr. Claw, which I grew up watching as a kid. That was like really surreal. I was like, what is happening to me? So it was amazing. That was fun.
Yeah. Maurice LaMarche, that's a guy I think that every single voice person gets nervous around. Like, he's the nicest person ever, but he's just so damn talented. It's so freaking
Amazing.
That was for all three.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Next question. Or do you want to answer?
Yes, when we get paid.
Now when we get paid, I forgot that one. That is my favorite part of the
You guys got paid. I feel like I got cheated. Man, when we first got to do some new Dragon Ball material that wasn't Kai, that wasn't Dragon Ball Z, the first time we actually got to do like a modern Dragon Ball Z movie, that was probably like Battle of Gods. That was like a really special time because we all got to kind of come out of the woodwork and do our thing again. It was awesome.
That was cool.
And I think Broly is maybe the best of the three.
I agree.
No?
Yeah, I agree. Broly is the best
I
movie
think
of all.
so.
And you know why that is? That's because Vegeta's fight in the Broly movie is the best fight in the Broly movie, in my opinion. He does.
You won that fight. Next.
Hey, I'm Scott from Australia, and I was just wondering, what's your favourite moment recording Dragon Ball? What was your favourite moment in the booth?
Favorite moment in the booth? Leaving was usually
Yeah.
They were done.
It was like, ding, 6 o'clock. Oh, thank Jesus. Honestly, I will, and I've said, anybody downstairs, these voice actors that said I loved doing the fighting and dread are liars. I could not wait for a fight session. When I showed up, the director, Carl Williams, who directs tons of stuff in Ocean, piles of great director, I'd look at him because I didn't see the scripts in advance, and I'd give him a sort of look when I rolled in. He said, "It's okay, there's no fights today." I'm like, oh. And I was just so happy if he'd say there was no fights, but when there were, he's like, yeah, there's one pretty big one. Leaving was my happiest moment.
It was a full free, but
We might not let get through one and do all three for everybody.
We are very lucky to do what we do. And I don't have a favorite moment of anything at all. I mean, all the moments I mean, in whatever project it is, I feel lucky. I feel so fortunate to do what I do and living for what I do. So I'm happy. I'm happy to be an actor and be able to do all these characters. I don't know what else to say.
My favorite moments were actually normally not in the booth. I was really lucky that I got to be on the other side of the table a lot because I was directing Dragon Ball Z. And the best thing about it was that I actually got to connect with all of the actors. Like every single person that would come in. The director is the luckiest person because you get to know every single actor and you're connected to all of them. Like I'm sort of like the great grandfather of all actors in Dallas. And but through that process, I got to watch people like Laura Bailey at 18 years old, just like absolutely killing it. Colleen Klinkenbeard is incredible. Travis Willingham and all these other, Eric Vale, who's here this weekend. Those are people that came into, and this, for us in Dallas, it was a miraculous thing when we got an actor who actually was really good from the start. You know, a lot of times in Dallas, we had to train someone to kind of come in and do something, but when someone would come in and they were immediately super strong, like Kent Williams, Chris Ayres, for instance, yes. That's the best part. So I think really directing the show was actually far more rewarding than any of the screaming I had to do in it, that's for sure. Yeah.
Oh, wait. As a kid, I'd always try to do Kameha, turn Super Saiyan, Final Flash. When you guys are doing your lines, did you ever take the stance or do the motions for Chris?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I don't do the whole thing. I don't like crouch down and do anything like. But when your job is to watch something and mimic it, I think just by instinct, a lot of times you kind of make hand gestures or movements. I don't know about you, but I move around. I don't do like when I'm fighting. I'm not like. But I do. I am in some sort of pose usually when I'm doing it. I don't know.
The thing is, you can't do it because of the mic you have in front of you. If you move so much, it's gonna be useless because your voice has to be very, very clear. So if you hit the table or whatever, it's gonna be on the recording. So you can't do a lot of movement.
Yeah, there's not a lot of you have to be about here. So if you come off the mic while you're fighting, then all of a sudden sound is a little. That's what'll happen in recording. So you're limited. You might do all kinds of this, but your hand's got to stay right where it is.
A lot of times it is a one-handed process.
Yeah.
So.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I have a question for Chris. I was just wondering how you feel if the Saiyans got their tails back.
That the Saiyans got their tails back?
Like if they did, like, I don't know.
Oh,
Just, like, how you feel about that.
The thing I would be the most happy about is that, like, maybe, like, Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta would finally be canon. Because, I don't know about you, but, like, I love that form of Vegeta so much. It's just such a cool looking form where he has, like, kind of the hairy arms and the tail and all that stuff. Like, I'd be all about it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Hi,
You go ahead and I'll ask.
this is for Chris. What was the most taxing session you've ever recorded in the booth?
Wow. I mean, all of them are so taxing. It was probably all the original Dragon Ball Z sessions were the worst because Kai fixed a lot of the stuff that was the absolute worst. Because when I found out we were going to record Kai again, I, like you, we were really busy working on a lot of shows, and I was like, if we're going to have to scream like we did on the first one, this is going to be a lot of trouble. But Kai did a really good job of like screaming and then cutting away and then cutting back and then it was over. But in the original version, it'd be jump, and then it comes back, and you're supposed to still be screaming, and you have to do it again. So yeah, the long power-ups, long screams into really big stuff, that's always the hardest.
Thanks. Guys.
Thanks.
Quick question for Chris and Renee. So which do you like more, blues or four?
I don't know.
Or God? Because in the movie, every time I went to the movie, when Vegeta went God, everybody clapped.
Yeah.
That's one of the biggest moments in the movie. Fire R, I was going to.
I think God. Yes, it is.
I mean, God, like visually, I think the Super Saiyan 4 is it is such a punk rock look for Vegeta. I think it's really neat. But I mean, Vegeta does deserve to be a god. We just haven't established exactly what that means just yet. Like, we'll see.
Go for it.
Okay, this one's for Chris. What do you think is your favorite thing about Vegeta and Bulma's relationship?
I like the fact that it was actually defined as to why Saiyan men pick the women that they pick. In Dragon Ball Super, do you remember that when they're like, Saiyans always pick strong women? Of course we do. I like the fact that Vegeta is showing a lot of deference to Bulma now. Like he'll make a decision, then I'll look over and check and see if Bulma's okay with it now. Whereas before he's just, shut up woman and bring me a dry cloth or whatever. I love the fact that they really are acting like a married couple now.
Thank you.
This is a question for Chris. It's not Dragon Ball related, but I've always wanted to know why you named your studio Okatron 5000.
That is a good question. Thank you. I can answer it pretty quickly because other people have asked me that before. When I was in college a billion years ago, there was this thing that popped up called the internet, and then you were allowed to pick an email address. And I was trying to be, I want to be Chris at yahoo.com, and that wasn't going to work because like 900,000 people had already chosen that. So I was trying to figure out what my name was going to be, and I couldn't think of a good name for Yahoo. My roommate came in, and we had just eaten some soul food that afternoon, and it was like, that was really good food. I'm like, yeah, I need to eat more okra. And then I realized, oh, that's a really good name. I'm going to eat more okra at yahoo.com. So okra became like this word, and I would use it like in all of my screen names and stuff like that. And then so when I opened Okatron 5000, okra means really nothing. It's just a word that kind of like popped up out of nowhere. But then Tron is, I thought it was always really funny that you could put the word Tron or omatic at the end of any word to give it technological significance. Like, this is just a bottle, but if it's called the Bottletron, it's a hell of a lot cooler, right? And I was also obsessed with the year 2000, because when I was a kid, I had this book called The Kid's Whole Future Catalog, and it was told us exactly what the year 2000 was going to be like. It didn't turn out to be anything like that at all. But there were a lot of laundromats and stuff that called themselves Laundromat 2000 because that was supposed to be a futuristic theme. But by the time we got to the year 2000 sounded pretty dated at that point. And so I gave our studio the name 5000 to give it like an extra 3,000 years of longevity.
Hi.
Hi.
I have a question for Chris. I've been doing a lot of thinking, and I'm pretty sure everyone here wants to hear about it, but I really liked the Broly movie with the Saiyan origins, like showing King Vegeta's palace. You did awesome as King Vegeta. I was wondering, what would you say if Japan would make a movie on Vegeta's childhood, and they would show Vegeta's mother? And
yes.
I would love to see that movie. How would you feel about doing a movie like that?
The historical stuff in the newest movie, the stuff about the Saiyan origins and King Vegeta, that was my favorite part of the movie. I mean, I love the Broly stuff, but good lord, man. I love seeing Paragus and I love seeing King Vegeta and how prideful he was. And are you also the voice of King Vegeta in the Spanish dub?
No, I'm not.
Okay. I
don't know why.
Didn't want to presume, but
Are you the voice in?
yeah, I am because they were cheap. They were really cheap. they used me for everything because I was less expensive. But and I look like the part. I think that my favorite part of the Broly movie is when Bardock and Gine, his wife, are running away, and he's saying, "I want to save my son." And she's like, "Why do you even care?" Saying men don't care at all about their children. He goes, I've spent my entire life destroying. I just want to save something for once. And that, for the first time, like made me feel like Goku isn't just the dumb hero that fell on his head. He might have had this predestiny, like because of this kindness that was injected into him from his father, Bardock. That was the first sign that like there was this change in the Saiyan attitude. And his father's like kindness was like somehow injected into Goku as he flew away in that pod, and that made me feel a lot better about the character of Goku. That like he's just, how could he? I've always been bothered by the fact that Goku's nice because he was dropped on his head as a child. That's it. Like, but this I think adds something to it. So anything else that involves the Saiyan history, I would love to know who Vegeta's mother was. She probably wasn't very well treated, but But I would love to see more of her.
And if I could name a personality for the Queen, she would have a combination of Chi-Chi and Bulma's personalities.
I would bet she would.
Thank you. Everyone else found out that this is new information. He's Vegeta the Fourth.
Yes.
Yes, there's 2 more Vegetas before King Vegeta we may never see. So, that's brand new information. Go.
Nice to meet you all, hello guys. My question is for Brian. If you had a real-life Capsule Corp case with capsules in it, put anything in it, car, paint, misbehaving kid, doesn't have to be
the first part.
Oh, if you had a real-life Capsule Corp case,
yes,
that you could put anything in,
like a Hot Boy capsule.
Yeah. What would you use it for? Misbehaving kid.
Yeah, the whole motorcycle comes out. What would you put in your house?
Wow. I always like to get these questions in advance so you can really think up the most amazing things.
That's not my fault.
I know, you throw them out. If I can put anything in it, just pop up. That's tough, that's tough.
What one thing in your life would you want to keep in your pocket at all times, like a tiny version that you could have appear at any moment?
Oh, nice. Yeah, I'm just about to get a hot tub this summer, so that's a hell of an answer. Portable hot tub. You know, I love travel so much, it would probably be something that if I could just, you know, pull it out and I could hop in a private jet and be like, boom, I'm somewhere else today, boom, I'm in London, boom, I'm in Hawaii. That would be travel related because I'd love to get around and come back here too. This is freaking amazing. Thank you.
My name is Javier. This question is for Chris. And so in the Broly movie, when you guys had to fight between Vegeta and Broly, were you sad that Goku kind of just butt in when you didn't even go Super Saiyan Blue yet? Or were you just like, well, I guess?
I mean, I'm so used to it by now. Goku always butts in, so I was expecting it to happen at some point. I was just really happy that Vegeta's fight was so damn good, though. That it was just the most realistic fighting in his section. Because I tell people I love Vegeta's because it was slow and it was deliberate, and he's doing like Jedi mind tricks and like making Broly freeze in midair and reading his thoughts or whatever the heck was going on in that scene. Yeah, it just was so bizarre. And then by the time we got to the Gogeta section, it was just the Broly movie on acid. So I really loved Vegeta's part was like Vegeta's fight in it was really good. So I was happy for the amount of fighting that he did. Like when I called Sean to tell him that we were going to work on this movie, he's like, I was telling him about it. He goes, well, is Goku the lead in the movie? I go, actually, I think that Goku and Vegeta have an equal amount of time in the movie. It's pretty cool.
Thank you.
A choice that I was making pre-animation. It would have been definitely something like, you know, when Nappa says the line, I would have probably said that it's over 9,000. Let's make it short. But and I'm sure Culver's like, oh, Brian, his mouth is still open for quite a bit. Could he Can you just carry the 9,000 a little longer? Okay, how about this? It's over 9,000! Is Brian, his mouth was still open after you stopped, and I can't loop that to make it longer. So if you could just carry it just a bit more than that. Oh, okay, we got a lot to do today though, Carl. No, I know, but just try and carry it a little bit longer. It's over 9,000! No, Brian, it's just a hair longer. I know we don't want to do that like this. But if we could just make it a little bit longer, we can move on to the next bit. It's not important. No one will even remember this stupid line. So let's just try it in the can and try one more time. It's over 9,000!
And you know, in Spanish we made a mistake because we said it's over 8,000. I don't know why.
You got it right. We made a mistake.
We said it's over 8,000. I don't know why.
All right, we're going to wrap it up here. Thanks everybody for coming. One more question before we close out. First of all, thank you all for being here. Tomorrow, the Ocean Dub and the GT panel will be in this room, so come back for that. Final question. I'm going to start with Brian, then Chris, then Renee. Where do you think your life and career would be without Dragon Ball? Where do you think you'd be? What would you do?
I would still be working on a lot of stuff, to be honest. Yeah, it was very early in my career, and things were really taking off. And because we only did 50 or 60 episodes, and then by the time we came back and we did more for Canada, I was working on a lot of shows. This part of my life would be very different, which is an amazing part of my life. This would probably not exist in the same way at all. And this, honestly, is the fun part. Not screaming, it's over 9,000, but meeting all you guys. So that's what would be very different in my life. But as far as working on shows, I still think I'd be pretty busy because it's a very minute part of the shows that I've done in my career, probably like you guys do. It's a smaller part of what we've done, but this part, too cool. I would have missed out on some crazy fun with you guys.
I have to say, mine's the opposite answer from his, because I probably would have been stuck doing a bunch of radio commercials and just commercial spots, and I may not have ever found any work in the anime dubbing community if Funimation hadn't taken over and brought it into the Dallas area, and I just happened to be just kind of at the right place at the right time. Like I don't even know what I'd be doing now. Like I have no clue. Like this is something I didn't even expect to be doing for so long. I'm still shocked that you guys are still letting me do this stuff. I have this weird feeling I might be doing this for the rest of my darn life. So it happened to be just like it's amazing. I got the best job you could possibly ever have, and I just happened to get it on the first time out of the box. Like, unbeknownst to me, it took many, many years for me to realize, oh yeah, people actually like this show. Because at the start, when I would go to conventions, they were all like, why'd you change the voices, you jerk? So conventions were quite like this experience. They were a lot different for me. So it took a long time to actually figure out that like this is something that's very important. So I was very, very lucky to get one of the best things my entire life. It's brought my entire livelihood, my studio. I wouldn't have met my wife without it. I probably would have been too scared to have kids. But Vegeta gave me so much strength and power and virility. I don't know. I have no idea where I would be, but it would not be here, and I'm so grateful to be here. Thank you very much for having me.
I have to agree with Brian. When we were doing Dragon Ball Z, I started dubbing. Well, I started acting when I was 4 years old. So my entire life I've been an actor. So I started theater and then television and then dubbing. It's part of my life, as Brian said, with the fans, with the travels to anywhere. I've been in all Latin America, and the fans, let me tell you, are the same in all over the world. I mean, it's a community, it's a generation. I don't know
but they found a bound, and yes, it's amazing. It's really, really amazing. So that part of my life is because of Vegeta en español. And that is wrong. We must say Vegeta, but Vegeta in Spanish is not a good word. So we left Vegeta. So yeah, but the love of the fans is amazing. This is just amazing. And this phenomenon is it's over 9,000 or beyond. I don't know. Thank you so much.
Hey, I just want to say one quick thing. I'm so happy you're here, but this, it's been really special to meet the Mexican cast of this. Both, you guys are such great people. I met them yesterday, and they're just the kindest, nicest people, and they're happy to be here, and we're so happy to have you. And
Adiós, insectos!